Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. I'm going to say that I am satisfied with the result of a trial. We covered the trial before. It's Andrew Miller, who likes to call himself Amy George. He's one of them. He, if you remember when we did the video some time ago now, was the butcher of Melrose. That's not to say he butchered anyone. He just lived in Melrose and he was a butcher. But this butcher of Melrose was the one that enticed a young child, into his car while he was dressed as a woman, took this girl home, held her captive for 27 hours, repeatedly and rather awfully did terrible things to her. Too early in the video to go in. YouTube don't like it. But, did some very terrible things to her. Forced her to watch various videos he had, plied her with alcohol, and basically just, did these awful things to her. And after 27 hours, you've got to consider that she was lucky to still be alive. Normally, that is the end result of things like this. But anyway, he was convicted. We've done the report on his conviction. And he was in court yet today, and he was given his sentence. And I think it is adequate. We'll look at it now, and you can see and make your own mind up. Here goes. So, trans butcher who abducted and sexually assaulted a schoolgirl is jailed for 20 years. Andrew Miller, also known as Amy George, picked up the young girl off the street before taking her to his home, where he subjected her to repeated horrific assaults. Now, I'm glad that this paper is actually calling him and saying he took her to his home, where he, and so forth. I'm fed up with these papers pandering to these weird, mentally deficient trans who like to be called women when they're quite clearly not. So at least the paper is getting the sex right. And he's going to be going to a male jail, which is another great thing. A trans butcher who abducted a young girl while she was walking home before sexually abusing her has been jailed. Andrew George Miller, who likes to use the name Amy George because he's mental, pled guilty to abducting and repeatedly abusing the primary school aged girl over a period of more than 24 hours. Now, primary school means she's what, between 5 and 8, is it? Primary schools, then junior schools is 8 till 11, something like that. Then 11 on, you're in seniors. So we're talking a very young girl. And it was for 27 hours. So, like I say, normally this ends far more tragically than it did. Although for her it was bad enough. And I do hope that she's getting all the necessary help she needs and can somehow put this behind her and lead a normal life. The 53-year-old butcher from Melrose in the Scottish Borders also admitting possessing 242 indecent photographs, and you can read what it is, young people, and watching specialist videos, we'll call it, in the presence of a child under 13 years of age at the High Court in Edinburgh in May. Miller was given an extended sentence, and here we go, of 28 years. 20 in custody and 8 under supervision. On Wednesday, his defence agent, Victoria Dow-Casey, told the court he recognises the horror of his conduct and in a very acute way feels a considerable sense of shame. I don't care about him. I don't care if he feels ashamed. I just don't care. I just want him away. I want him away for the rest of his life. But 20 years? Take that. He says his shame is not only for himself but also for those in his life who will no doubt be impacted by his conduct. I don't think he's going to have anyone left in his life. She said his offending was due to a collapse of protective factors in his life. Oh, blaming other people, are we? Leading to a loss of self-control. Yeah, you make your own decisions. This isn't other people's fault. This isn't self-control. You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing is wrong and you're still doing it. You have to actively seek out that type of film, that type of material. It isn't just something that accidentally lands on your desk, is it? He said previously the court had heard how Miller was transitioning, currently, not transitioned, into a woman, but has been held in the male prison estate following a row over the jailing of transgender Ara of Women Isla Bryson, who was sent to a female prison in February, even though he's a man and is a danger to women. Transitioning is the term they use for I'm never going to get my cock cut off. And that's it. So he goes to a male prison. Now, I do hope that when he gets to that male prison, the male prisoners there give him a very warm welcome. I hope he has a really warm welcome. Is lovingly embraced and welcomed into his new cell by 3 or 4 big burly men. Show him where he's going to spend the rest of his life. Let's hope he doesn't spend too long in there. And if he really wants to be a woman, let's hope that they go some way to helping him make that happen. At the very least, he won't ever do anything to a child again. At least not with that. On Sunday, February the 5th, Miller, while dressed as a woman, offered the child, whom he had never seen before, a lift. He took the girl back to his house and subjected her to repeated attacks, which a judge described as every parent's worst nightmare. Judge Lord Arthurson described the offences as abhorrent crimes of the utmost deviance and depravity. The child was locked in Miller's home for 27 hours, during which time she was repeatedly touched and also forced to watch these films. She dialed 999 while Miller was asleep, and she found a landline phone and called police, saying she'd been touched inappropriately, the court heard. Police arrived at the property and arrested Miller around 9:35 p.m. on Monday, February the 6th. Miller had run a butcher's shop, claimed he offered the girl a lift because she was freezing, and claimed forcing her to sleep in the bed with him was merely a motherly thing. Yeah. After his arrest, 3 laptops were seized with property and a total of 242 indecent images were found. I hope he spends a very short time in prison before his life is, comes to a somewhat swift and slightly painful end. And I'd like to, to be able to hold his cock like that. That's my take on it. Anyone like that deserves all they get. He's a monster. There he is, look, hiding his face in shame. Absolute shame. Do they have a picture of him here on this piece? No. Let me find a picture for you. There we have a picture, right. So, yeah, that's just taking me to... Oh, there we go, right. There's the picture. That's actually the picture from the previous court case. And there he is pretending he's a lady. Yeah. He's a monster who will be very ladylike soon, one can hope, insofar as he won't be in possession of, well, his cock. Anyway, I shall stop there and I shall come up and we'll round off the video. It's one of those cases where it doesn't really matter how long he gets. He will one day walk free and he will still be a danger to children. Now, it is a fact and it does upset people, but not me. It won't upset most of you, but it does upset a small group who don't like the facts. But the facts are that with trans prisoners, they're usually in for sex crimes. Where 6% of the population of a prison, normal people, are in for sexually related crimes, with the trans community it's 60%. 10 times more likely to commit a sex offence if you're trans than if you're not. Which is why I say, whilst you can't paint them all with the same brush, you must be aware that these people are 10 times more likely to commit sex crimes than normal people. Because, of course, they're not normal. They get sexually aroused by pretending to be women. They're autogynephiles, most of them. And they just like the idea. And, of course, it's just something they do. And that is why they are so dangerous and why you should be very, very aware of the figures. And that's why you should never, ever let your child be alone with a trans. 10 times more likely. Government's own figures, not mine. I'm not inventing that. You can easily Google it. It's the facts. Just bringing you the facts, ma'am. Anyway, I shall stop there. Glad to see he's in prison. Hope he isn't in prison for very long. Till next time, stay safe, stay well, and guard your children with your life. Bye.